Hello and welcome to your July 2014 Richmond Real Estate Market Update. My name is Alex Glaser with Coldwell Banker Vaughn & Company Realtors, and I have the great pleasure of letting you know what's been happening recently here in your marketplace. So let's jump on in and see what's happened.
So I'd like to start off, like last month, some new data that we've been taking a look at is the national foot traffic. So the amount of showings that all the properties here in America, that we're getting. And it's a really good indicator of future sales. And as we can see, we've had a pretty strong spring in terms of foot traffic, May being about as much as we had in April. So that's definitely good to see the amount of showings staying pretty strong. And the first couple slides we are going to look at here, all this data is going to be nationally. So coming over to the national pending home sales, on the far right here, we can see pretty much starting at February through May, every single month it's just been going up. And as of April to May, somewhere in that range, we're back over the historic healthy level here across America. I know that we had a pretty slow winter in Richmond. It looks like we had an even slower winter when you look at the country as a whole. But, across all 50 states plus in Virginia, we've definitely seen a pretty strong spring. It started a little late. Winter lasted a little bit longer than we were used to. And so hopping over and just taking a look at month's inventory, number of homes for sale versus how many are being sold. And currently, across America, we're running about a 5.5 month supply. And then when you look at Richmond, we're about 4.5, a little less than that. So Richmond is doing a little bit better than the average of homes for sale and the absorption rate. So what does that mean? Well, when you have a lower month supply of homes, it means there's less of a supply, and that increases demand, and that's how you get appreciation. So it's definitely good to see that we're a little bit lower than the rest of the country in terms of month supply of inventory. So popping over and taking a look here at Richmond, what's been happening here recently. We can see at the end of June, we had 4,514 homes for sale. So it's still, slowly creeping up, not that many more compared to May. And the new pending sales, we had 1,371, which was about a 30% or almost one-third of what we had available actually sold last month in June. And comparing that to see, how's that compare to the last couple of years? We can see that June, historically, over the last 3 years, always does a little bit less in terms of new pending sales than May. So that's pretty normal. But comparing it to last year, we actually sold more homes with less for sale. So 2014 June definitely beat 2013 June. So all good news there. So changing gears a little bit, just taking a quick look at the down payment misconception. I've actually found a lot of people are just under this misconception that they can't afford to buy a home because they need this really large down payment. And you can see from the survey, in the different age brackets, the amount of people that thought you needed at least 15% to buy a home and a down payment, when in fact there's a lot of different 0% down, 100% financing options out there for first-time home buyers, veterans, anyone looking at property that would be considered rural, which might surprise you because there's actually some neighborhoods you wouldn't consider rural, but because they fall into a certain part of a zip code, you can get that type of financing for them. So just something to keep in mind, whether it be for you or anyone else that you don't need large down payments to buy a home. Yes, it's nice because, you can either lower or completely get rid of mortgage insurance, but, it's definitely not necessary. So hopping over, taking a quick look at mortgage rates, they've been bouncing around for a while, around like the mid to low fours, with them recently being a little bit closer to 4%. And then popping over here to see the projected rates from here moving forward between four different big players, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, and NAR. They're all projecting it to be somewhere in the mid to low fives, maybe upper fours, between now and fourth quarter, so a little over a year from now. And that's normal as real estate markets start to do better. Naturally interest rates will start to creep up too, especially as the government stops, buying certain bonds. It's gonna stop keeping rates as low as they have been, and they're going to stop doing that as things continue to get better. But don't worry. Even if rates go to the low fives, historically, that's still about the lowest they've ever been. We can see by decade, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000, they've all been much higher than where they are right now in the low fours, and even much higher than in a year from now if they're in the low fives. And you can see for the same payment, same mortgage at the different rates. Historically, even though, we're getting closer to, 2015 here versus the 1970s, you're paying significantly less for the same amount of money. So, historically, we're doing really, really good in terms of interest rates, even if they go up a little bit. And what would that mean in terms of a monthly payment of, between now versus waiting maybe a year from now? If things do keep appreciating, let's say a $250,000 house appreciates to $260,000 over the next 12, 15 months. And if rates, go up a little bit from about 4.2 to 4.8, your payment would increase almost $150 a month. So annually, that's a little over $1,700 extra you'd spend for the same house, if you buy now versus a year from now. You've had that over 30 years, it's over $50,000 more. So the bigger difference than just the $10,000 mortgage payment is going to be the interest rate going up. That's going to make the biggest difference in terms of what you actually pay for a home. So it's something to keep in mind, whether it be for you or anyone else who's been thinking about buying a home.
So there you go. That's what's been happening here recently in your marketplace. If you have any questions at all about this or anything real estate related, feel free to call or email anytime. My information's here at the bottom of the screen. And I also just want to remind you to check out our YouTube page. We have a lot of really good information other than these market updates. A lot of information about selling your home, buying homes, HD movie tours of the listings that we have either currently or recently sold. And again, that webpage is youtube.com/Mr. Alex Glaser. And just thank you again for your time, and I look forward to talking with you next week. See you then.